Nobody expected my own husband to humiliate me on the biggest day of my career. I laughed at my Pentagon promotion ceremony and walked away without looking back. My mother-in-law told me that a real wife always chooses family over her career. I stood there alone and accepted my promotion with tears in my eyes. 2 days later, my phone rang at exactly 2 in the morning. It was my husband. His voice was shaking. The man who mocked my dreams was now begging for my help. What happened in those 48 hours changed every life forever. Stay until the end because nothing turned out the way anyone expected. On the morning of my promotion ceremony, I woke before sunrise. I carefully pressed my uniform and placed every medal exactly where it belonged. Years of sacrifice had led to this day. I remembered the missed birthdays, the endless training, the deployments, and every promise I made to myself that I would never quit. My husband barely looked up from his coffee. When I reminded him it was time to leave, he sighed and said, "Nobody cares about your stupid little ceremony." My mother-in-law nodded and quietly said, "A real wife knows when family comes before her career." Their words hurt more than I wanted to admit. I looked at the empty seat beside me during the ceremony and realized that sometimes strangers celebrate your victories more than the people you love. The promotion ceremony was simple but meaningful. My commanding officer spoke about dedication, integrity, and service. When my new rank was pinned onto my uniform, everyone applauded. I smiled for the photographs even though my heart was breaking. After the ceremony, I returned home. No congratulations waited for me. My husband acted as though nothing important had happened. He spent the evening watching television while my promotion certificate remained untouched on the kitchen table. The following day became even worse. My mother-in-law criticized my career again. She insisted I would regret choosing work over family. I remained silent because arguing would change nothing. That night, I could not sleep. I questioned every decision I had made. Had I sacrificed too much? Had success cost me my marriage? The silence inside the house felt heavier than any battlefield. Then, 2 days later, my phone rang at exactly 2 in the morning. It was my husband. His voice was shaking. He whispered that he needed my help immediately. My first instinct was anger. After everything he had said, why should I answer? But years of service had taught me that emergencies come before emotions. He explained that while driving home, he had witnessed a serious accident involving several vehicles. One driver was trapped and another person was unconscious. Emergency responders were delayed because of severe weather. Without hesitation, I guided him through basic emergency steps while contacting the proper authorities. I reminded him how to stay calm and protect everyone at the scene until professional help arrived. For nearly 30 minutes, I stayed on the phone as he followed every instruction. Eventually, emergency crews reached the location. The next morning, he came home exhausted. For the first time in years, he looked directly into my eyes and quietly said, "I finally understand what your training means. I spent years believing your job was only ceremonies and promotions. Last night, I realized your work saves lives." His apology was sincere, but it did not erase the past. Over the following weeks, our relationship changed slowly. Respect replaced insults. Conversations replaced arguments. My mother-in-law also admitted she had judged my career unfairly after seeing how calm and prepared I remained during a real emergency. Healing was not instant. Trust never returns overnight. We attended counseling together and learned that respect must exist before love can survive. Months later, another promotion ceremony arrived. This time, my husband stood proudly in the front row. When my name was called, he was the first person to stand and applaud. After the ceremony, he quietly said, "I almost lost the strongest person I have ever known because I refused to appreciate her dreams." I smiled because I no longer needed his approval to know my worth. The greatest victory was never the promotion. It was discovering that my value never depended on someone else's opinion. Never allow someone else's disrespect to define your future. That people who laugh at your dreams today may one day depend on the strength they failed to respect. Success is not revenge. Success is becoming the person you refuse to give up on.